Nerdboxer Media. Nerdboxer was created to provide a platform and voice for Black intellectual males, particularly biological fathers. Though our content is aimed at Black males, we produce content that anyone could listen to. If there is an issue with us promoting a positive message to the Black American male, this is not the podcast for you. We will not ever entertain the idea of changing that stance. This podcast will have intervals of dialogue provided by myself and the smooth sounds of chill hop music. Proper credits for the music is located in the comments. That being said, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, everybody? It's the Knowledge Rise podcast, episode 5. We're glad to be here. Thank you very much for coming out. We are coming to you live from the Pacific Northwest, but I want to send a shout out to everybody across the country and across the world. I do have a few fans over in Africa, namely Zimbabwe and South Africa, as well as the United Kingdom. I thank you all for tuning in. Shout outs to my father. What up, Pops? You know I love you and I appreciate you. Shout out to my moms, who was smart enough to marry a man that takes care of his family and never interfered with the lessons my father taught me. Shout out to all the men who have been great fathers. Shout out to the men that support the community empowerment. Shout out to all the men who stood their ground and fought in child support court. Rest in peace to all the fathers who couldn't handle the pressure and ended their lives. Please rest peacefully. Shout out to all the fathers' rights groups on social media and across the internet. The influence is growing, and I noticed that we are beginning to wake men up. Much respect. Didn't catch our last podcast. We had Mr. Racine McGee, author of book series So Frail. We got a chance to hear him speak about who he is, what made him become a writer, the books themselves, and more. Thank you, Mr. McGee, for coming to the show. We here at Nerdboxer do plan on bringing Mr. McGee back in the future. Be on the lookout for that. This episode, we're going to talk about Ayesha Curry's statement, being a blessing for men. We ask the question, is dating prostitution? We talk about the Masculine Engineering Conference in Portland, Oregon that's coming in October 2019, and the Petals from a Black Rose product review. But right now, let's get into some music. This track is called Minty by Moose Dawa. So, we want to talk about Ayesha Curry's recent statements. Curry is married to one of the best basketball players to ever touch the floor, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors. They have a beautiful family and up to this point have avoided controversy. You see them together often as a family. We all know that no relationship is perfect, but the Curry family is one we've all been rooting for as men and hoping they stay strong and together. Recently, Ayesha made a comment about being upset because other men were not hopping in her DMs. Yes, you heard it right. A woman is unhappy that men are not treating her like a piece of meat, even though she is married. Wow. Out of all the statements we hear as men about how we aren't faithful, how we need to be better and do better, how we are misogynist and everything else, we now hear a woman that has a good man complaining about not being sought after like she is some streetwalker. At first, I was a bit upset. Then I was disappointed. When I woke up in the morning, I felt blessed to have heard her words. That's because I've long suspected that no matter what men do for women of today, the clear majority of them are not happy and are thinking of other men. For years, I thought it was me like BBD. I thought I didn't have whatever was necessary to make a woman happy, and I felt I needed to be some kind of Superman-like figure. Ayesha showed me that no matter what you do for a person, they'll still have the right and privilege to not be happy, complain, and want the attention and validation from another person. But I want you men out there to answer one question for me, whether you're married or you're not. Is dating prostitution? I mean, seriously, fellas, think about it. Is dating prostitution? While you think about that, I'm going to play a song by B-Side called Patience. And now, I'm going to ask you one more time. Take some time to think. Is dating prostitution? So we ask you again, is dating prostitution? Let's talk about this. As a man, you're expected to pay. So let's go through a typical dating scenario. You meet a woman and invite her out for coffee and appetizers. That's $20. You then score a date for dinner and a movie and a drink or two, plus an Uber. That's $120. You get another date, but this time you want dinner and a comedy show. That's $200. The time comes you invite her over, but you want to get dinner before she gets there. There's another $70. Then you want to take her out for a nice weekend getaway with hotels, meals, and good fun. Nothing too fancy, but a good time. There's $500. After all that, she tells you that you're a great guy, but she was also seeing someone else and they decided to make it official. So basically, you just spent over $900 to wine and dine and have sex with this woman, and she chose another man over you. Another man she was having sex with while she was having sex with you. And like a prostitute, your money is gone, and there's no return on the investment. Women today have no shame in telling you that they see other men when you first meet them. If 3 of you are spending that much money, that's almost $3,000 in a month to pamper a woman that isn't exclusive to any of you. To me, that sounds like prostitution draped in females manipulating the courting process. To each his own. At 40 years old, I see that as far as I'm concerned, I can't afford that lifestyle. I'll never return back to that lifestyle, and I don't knock the men that live in that lifestyle. But if you are one of those men that love spending your money on random women that sleep with other men, please don't enter the conversation about what the black community and black men need to do to improve the black community, because you yourself are throwing away thousands of dollars for women who then take that money and spend it outside of the community. Now, I do know there are people that are outside of the black community that listen to this show, and as I've said before, this is the things we speak on. However, the point still stands, regardless of what race you are. Spending money on women that have other men spending money on them is not a manly thing. Nothing about it is responsible. Nothing about it is respectable. However, to each his own. I just wanted to kind of put that into you guys' ear, give you something to think about, and let you know that your hard-earned money is making someone else happy and it's not doing anything for you. The crazy part is, if men came together and put that kind of money into a business, you could rent a commercial property that could open up a store. You can open up a small industrial business somewhere in a warehouse that's been abandoned. You can put the money aside, and after a few months get a cheap piece of property, fix it up, and turn it into a side income. But for some reason, we are obsessed with buying shiny trinkets and flowers and all this overpriced stuff to impress women that are openly sleeping with other men. These women are not virgins. They were not raised to make a man a king, to inspire greatness in their family. They are simply breasts, buttocks, hips, and pretty faces. Most of them, some of them, whatever, forget all that. The point I'm trying to make is, regardless how the woman looks, you're paying for her time, and you're basically renting her. Out of all the things we do with our money to impress them, it hasn't brought, particularly black men in the black community, it has not brought us anything. Generational wealth, peace of mind, inner peace, you name it. The things that we hold dear to ourselves as we get older, we are not getting them by way of putting thousands of dollars into the dating process. I guess the moral of the story is, if you want a woman of quality does not need your money to have your attention, or vice versa. Money is not an issue. Your character is your currency when it comes to a woman of quality. But enough of that. Let's get back into the music. That was the sound of the playlist on YouTube by Chill Hop, Winter 2016. Now it's time to talk about our first annual Masculine Engineering Conference. The purpose of this conference is to bring men and fathers together under one roof to talk about the issues we have as men and parents. It isn't a conference about fighting feminism. It deals strictly with men's issues. Some of those issues or things that we will be covering at this conference are the code of conduct, finances, guarding your seeds, whether they're born or unborn, education, health, networking, and accountability. There will be breakout sessions that will allow us to participate with each other in activities, learn about available resources, and training courses from everything from finances, small businesses, to career training. The conference will be held in Portland, Oregon. The site will be determined within the next 30 days. It will happen on the first, second, or third full week of October, more than likely the week of October 15th. It will be 3 days long. Meals will be provided, and we are working to get a group rate for the hotels. The conference will be hosted by Jay Norman of Thoughts Men Aren't Supposed to Think, also known as T-Mast. We will also have Racine McGee, author of the book series So Frail, speaking as a special guest, and he may be providing a training course as well. We will let you know that in the future. To get more information, make sure you're following us on social media. We are at The Real Nerd Boxer on Instagram and Facebook. Our Twitter is at Nerdboxer. I must apologize, I haven't gone full blown with Twitter yet, but I will be using it more often here in the future. You can also reach us by email at hr@nerdboxer.com. That's hr@nerdboxer.com. We are going to finish listening to this beautiful track by Booty Mayfield, Son of a Preacher, and then when we return, we will speak on the products we received from Petals from a Black Rose. We'll be back in a few. Yes, that was the sound of Booty Mayfield. Now, let's get on over to our review of Petals from a Black Rose. First off, shout out to Jerome and Lachelle They have blessed me with some beautiful products, and I'm anxious to get this started, so I'll get it going. But thank you both. Thank you both for being a married couple that has stuck together through thick and thin, and I wish you both many more years of happiness, success, and inner peace. First, I tried the barbershop soap that they have. I loved it. Skin felt great, smooth, loved the smell, isn't too perfumey. It's a wide bar, so I cut it in half to preserve it. Since using it, my skin doesn't feel as dry after showering like it does with something like Irish Spring. I ran out of the soap and had to go back to that mainstream soap, and I instantly noticed the difference on my skin. It was just back to that old tight feeling. The lip balm, which was chocolate flavored the first time around, was excellent. I have bigger lips and do not want to walk around looking like Tyrone Biggums out here. This feels better than the chapstick that we buy from like gas stations, and it doesn't have that weird taste or smell that you get from Vaseline. So this time around I ordered 2 more, but I got the berry scented, berry flavored lip balm. I do love that. I also ordered, in addition to another barbershop soap, this Intuition scent. Now the only way I can truly describe these is the barbershop scent is more of a daytime smell, and the Intuition, in my opinion, would be great end of the day or going out to eat, something like that. It's a great smell. Overall, I love their products. They did, in fact, send me some pet products that I am going to use with my neighbor's dog, and we are going to do a review on that. But I want to stop and thank Lachelle and Jerome for sending me an awesome product. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just saying this just because this is a business that's just trying to get some things off. No, it is very good soap. I'm very impressed with the lip balm also. I do love the Florida water soap. I did use that after a long day, and ladies and gentlemen, it is the truth. To use a soap like that after a long day, which is what its intention is, it does work. It does help the body. So again, you can reach Petals from a Black Rose on Instagram and on Facebook under Petals from a Black Rose. No spaces, no underscores, Petals from a Black Rose. Please give them a shout out, follow them, and take some time to check out their products and see what they can do for you. Fellas, I'm just being very honest. The soap is nice. I'm getting used to using something that isn't mainstream. It's good to get it from a small business, and I do appreciate this small business, Petals from a Black Rose, Jerome and Lachelle, for the customer service, on-time delivery, communication, everything. The entire experience, the whole experience up to this point has been phenomenal. I will be rocking with them. They are a part of my monthly budget now, and I hope you guys take some time to support them too. That's Petals from a Black Rose, ran by a beautiful couple, Jerome and Lachelle. Hit them up on social media and on Instagram, Petals from a Black Rose. You can buy their products directly on Etsy.com. That's ETSY.com under Petals from a Black Rose. Thank you very much, everybody. You know, it's that time for me to get out of here. It's been an awesome time. I am getting a little bit more comfortable, but I do hope I'm able to keep the podcast interesting. I hope I am touching on the right subject and delivering it in the right way. I am always open to suggestions. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. On our next show, we will be interviewing Jay Norman of Thoughts Men Aren't Supposed to Think, aka T-Mast. We are going to talk about our plans for the upcoming conference. I'm going to get down and dirty into what T-Mast is, what brought it about, what made him choose this route, and what has been his driving force up to this point. He does many different platforms. He also does a Guard Your Seed, as well as others. So you can reach out to him on Thoughts Men Aren't Supposed to Think, spelled just the way it sounds. Thoughts Men Aren't Supposed to Think on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you very much for everybody for listening. Shout out to everybody that's been with me day one, and shout out to all my new fans that will come along the way. I work really hard to bring you guys a great podcast, and I hope you do enjoy. Thank you very much. Peace.